Oh my God, look at that. It's so clean. It's amazing. I took the dogs out to the groomer, and I had some time to kill. So I think I did a deposit for Kenan. I had to do some illegal dumping. Some tiles that somebody left after an install. And then it's like we clean out people's cars so we can, you know, work on them, and then like we forgot to put it back, and they're like, throw it away. And then what else? Oh, and then I went next door to the massage place because I was like, oh, I got some time to kill. And then it was like stinky, and there's a bunch of shameful Mormon guys hiding their faces from me. I was like, you guys know, I'm going to tell everybody about you. So, but this thing's not shifting the way it's supposed to. But I wanted to say hi. Everything's fine. I've just been very busy. I'm just leaving Recoil. I've been trying to get down here all day. I've just been super busy. Today's shipments took a little longer. And I was up late last night trying to get caught up on subwoofers. When I get a bunch of those, I'm getting ready to do a whole bunch of them. I just did the coil settings last night. Let's see if I can make it. Yeah, tranny slipping. Slippery tranny. It's probably just low on jizz. There it goes. Oh, slipping. Just want to put it down into low. And let's see. Oh, just really busy weekend. We got more 8Ks and the 600.4s coming. The Brazilians you guys like. If you want any more of those 3Ks and the 5Ks, let me know. We're doing the 5Ks for only $350. We are still. What was it? Update on the laser scribing. So there was some problems with the platform, or I don't know what to call it, the table of the thing, and we had to order some parts, and the only way that you can get them is from China. So we had to order them from China, and it takes a little bit to get here. So we're waiting on those, and then we should be able to do all the laser scribe work that some of you guys have already paid for, asked for anybody that wants to do their own brand. No turn signal on that one. So we're doing that, and then also the coils are on their way. The single 2 ohm and the single 1 ohm that we had originally ordered for the GONZO Juniors. We're also doing another batch of the GONZO Juniors, but we're only going to do a pre-sale of $200 if you want to order just the motors. They're just too valuable to us, and I can see now why the like DC and Phi and none of those guys sell motors on their own. And if you want to buy Lord of Base motors, buy them. Good luck to you. What was it? We're still doing the 24s. We're taking pre-orders on those for November. The motors should be here in November. And the 24-inch with the detachable top assembly is only $1,500 shipped to any state in the lower 48. The 21-inch is $1,150. Again, that's shipped to any state in the lower 48. And the 18-inch and 15-inch are only $950. I'm not going to build any more 12-inch versions. It's just waiting to fall apart because it's just too much for those parts. I did get the carbon fiber cones in. I got the tall, like SPL kind of type surround that you'd see on Sundown, and then there's also a mega row that I got, and I think I got two. Yeah, 2 18s for that one. For Mega Roll, 2 18s, and those are 4-inch neck for voice coil, and 2 of the SPL 18s, and then I think 2 each of the 15s as well. And the 15s are a 3-inch coil. So, and we're also going to be doing a, I'm going to do like a GONZO Stepdad, which is not quite GONZO and is not quite GONZO Junior. It's basically going to be my version, I think a better stylized version of the ZV6 from Sundown. I just want to show you guys that it, you know, again, I want to put the nail in the coffin that Jacob is not what you think he is, and Sundown isn't what you think it is. So I want to basically bring a product that's superior and sell it for less money. So, and you know, whatever you want to call it, the Sundown Jizzer or the Come Drown or whatever we came up with, that's fine. I don't like that frame. So on the 12s we'll be using Scott Atwell's 6-spoke TI frame, and then the 15 and the 18 will be using also the 6-spoke, and then of course we'll do a 21-inch. We will not do a 24-inch because we don't have the adapters yet, and adapting from a 5-inch hole to a 3-inch hole is quite a bit of plastic, so I don't really like to do that. I am going to see what we can do about getting I guess it would be at least a 4-inch version of the 24-inch cone. So, where it's got a 4-inch coil instead of the 5-inch coil. Let's see what else we're working on. Oh, samples for the Neo motor. We want to do like basically Nightshade version 6, something like that, without all the stupid Batman armor gear on it. You don't really need it if you do it right, but it looks cool. But basically that one's going to be a 5-inch coil, and we're modeling it around the Lord of Bass 5-inch coil that is available, because that's plenty big, and it'll be like 10,000 watts or whatever, something stupid that you guys can use. And then that one will be used for yeah, I think we're going to do the bolt patterns for, oh shit, I gotta make it removable. I guess we can just keep it the same and just use the adapters for those. I actually prefer that, because then that way it's removable. Again, I don't need you guys sending back, you know, a 50-pound goddamn Neo motor that fucks up, you know, like the post office or whatever, or something like that. So we'll do that. And then oh, the rest of it has just been me building and trying to keep up with chores. I did find a building in Texas, and right now we're working through that process. I think I'm waiting for the other party to accept the contract, and then we got to go through due diligence and all the preliminary stuff. If anybody wants in on that, please let me know. It's basically 1,000 in, 1,500 out in 36 months when we refinance the building. And you can either do a balloon payment, or we can do 3,000 in credit for BlackJack Audio and just parts or whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Everything's going to be given over to BlackJack anyway for part sales. And I think we're doing is it a Stripe or a Wix site dedicated just for BlackJack, and that's mostly for the bank loan, because we want to do a $100,000 bank loan, but I think they might just only give me like $50K, which is fine, that's enough, and then I can start doing some rad shit with you guys. Of course I would love to have my own laser in-house, but we want to get set up in the next 12 months with at least 2 employees and maybe a third like technician that does like dual duty on the laser scribe, and then like something else technical or something like that. But yeah, things are rocking and rolling, things are going. That's what I've just been busy doing, and mostly it's just like I did a critter cruise the other day with Sherry, but it was so fucking noisy. It was a windy that day, and I had like sand in my vagina. I was just complaining about everything. I was like, this is a bummer. Like, I don't want to bring everybody down. This sucks. So, but tomorrow Ash and I are going down to Recoil, so if you guys need anything, let me know. And we're going to be moving some stuff around because there's a container coming in on Wednesday. I'm not sure if there's any spots available, but if you want to do $20 an hour cash, just text me direct, 602-312-6504. We'll get you in the system, and it's $20 cash for that day. Or you can take, I like to take product, because you get product at 10% over cost, and then you resell that and you make even more money. But again, that's just me. But yeah, contact me direct, text me direct, 602-312-6504. And then I'll talk more about the building when we get further down the road on that one for Texas. I'm not going to move there. It's mostly just an expansion. I basically want to be able to live in both places. And there's what's really great about Texas is there's airports all over the place, which is really nice. A lot of that is to support the technicians for the oil industry, and I think it's right there in that area. I think it's Eagle Ford or Ford Eagle. I don't know. Ford Eagle Shale oil field. It's really cool because from the Google Maps you can see all these little bare squares. I think it's like 100 or 200 feet out from each little oil pump on the landscape, and they are all over the place. So it's kind of a cool thing, and it's just a quiet little town. But I don't want to ruin that, and I also don't want to jinx it. But anyways, keep your questions coming. There are some technical questions I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about Paraflex enclosures and basically horns for bass, when it's appropriate, when it's not, and what is actually happening when you use that sort of thing. There's lots of designs by like Serwin Vega from the 90s, as well as, you know, the traditional ones like PV Black Widow, I think Behringer, and some other ones. I have some fiberglass enclosures for 415s that were in a strip club, and they're all fiberglass, and I'm going to go ahead and convert them to just a regular ported box, because the Paraflex, which is a sealed box playing into basically a loaded horn, sucks. It sucks for bass. It's good for mid bass, but not for, like, you know, subwoofer kind of bass. And then the drivers we'll be using will be like probably some Amazon thing that we get that's 500 or 600 watts each, and that way we can put some big Behringer amp on it that, you know, does like 2400 watts, and it'll be fucking rad. I think that's it. I'm almost home, and I'm gonna show you guys the cones when I get. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let me stitch to this. Yeah, let me put this down, and then I'll stitch it together with the cones. See you in a bit. All right, I'm home. Kaleidoscope jukebox is on the jukebox. Turn that down. These have been popular too. This GONZO Junior on an 18. We've been selling a bunch of these locally. We do them in single 1 ohm, dual 2, or dual 4 for only $400. And a lot of home theater guys have been getting those. That is a 13W7 motor as a 15. I got to test that one today. This is, I fucked up Josh's last 18. I got to finish this up, and then he should be here. I think it's this week, so it's going to be a little bit of crunch time because we got the container coming on Wednesday. I got this one. I don't remember if this is I redid the ferrite, and the pole was off just a little bit, and so one way you can get around that is just use a thinner coil, and so that way when it shims up, it still has clearance. And so we did this one with the Slim Jim copper 3-inch coil, which has a 60mm wine height, and then we did a little bit of spacing. We did the 5 series cone, and then we'll probably do carbon fiber or whatever somebody wants. This one is available. Let's see, we'll do this one for 300 local, so just fucking blow it out. I don't really like to ship heavy subs like that. Oh, I'm talking to Parts Express about this one. I'm not sure if I talked about this in the last video. There is a couple problems with this motor and this design. They put Faraday rings inside, 2 of them, one on the top of the pole and then one I think in the bottom. Again, Faraday rings do not belong in subwoofers. Maybe mids and tweeters, maybe, but even then we've seen problems with static buildup and even RF interference with all kinds of shit. They don't need to be in there. It's one of those things where you can see a difference on a no scope, but can you hear the difference? No, because if you could, everybody would use them, and you don't need to. So this is the ZV4 that was on an 18. We finally got the frame off, and then this is going to Chris here locally. This one had a little problem. Ash, I had her terminate do the terminals, and she put the isolator on top of the terminal, and so all 4 leads were grounded to the chassis to the frame. And so I'm like fucking up the amp trying to test it. I'm like, something's wrong. I'm like, is this thing magnetized? Like, what's wrong with it? And then I go, you know what this is acting like? And then it was a short, so I had to pull the cone off, and then I replaced the cone, and that's why there's a little bit of a pool. But this one's good for Randy. I think I tested that one before. I'll do a woofer demo porn thing for you guys. This is Brooks 18. It's the, what is it, American Bass VFL Comp. I want to do a removable top assembly like with a TI frame for that one, if anybody wants to buy that one. It's been here for over 6 months, and basically it's ours now. But if Brooks ever comes back, I will definitely compensate him some way. It's just I couldn't get a hold of him. His phone number's bad, and you know, sometimes these guys die, sometimes they go to prison. I don't know. I just have this big fucking woofer sitting here, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm gonna go ahead and deal with this one. Oh, locally, we got this big old box. This is for a 12. This is a the latest version of the 7500, which I think is a dual 4, but I'm actually going to put the DD woofer I got. I was never able to find out the model number, but it does use a 2.5-inch coil. But the FS is like 40 hertz, and SPL guys like to put that in a really big box. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in a really big box, and then sell it to somebody that loves digital designs, even though I think they kind of suck. I mean, are they loud? Sure, but who cares about loud if it sounds like shit? That's my opinion, but whatever. We have all the coil assemblies done for these, including the rattle canned 18. I just got to do final assembly tonight, and then we'll start putting cones on. Here's the carbon fiber cones. We got the samples in. Let me move these. Oh, and I'm going to start putting these back into production, which is, it's this motor. It's a 2-inch motor. We got these from Concept. They got the protective boot on them, which is nice. Let's see if I can get that off. Let me put the phone down. See, look how nice that is. So it's newish. And what you do is then you choose what top plate you want, depending on what frame you're going to be using. So they come with different hole patterns. See? So we're gonna grind one side, or probably the uglier side, and then that's what we glue on there with shims. I think we use just business cards. So I got some different versions. Some of these are a little too big. They have overhang, but in the end, it doesn't really matter because these are just like, I don't want to call what are they? They're just like mainstream woofers. And I'd rather just build them out than throw them away. In fact, we got the motor guy that I was telling you about that built the GONZO Junior for us. he's a really good guy, and he's like really willing to work with me, even though my numbers are small. Because, like, you know, I only order the MOQ, which is like 100 pieces, and he's got some faith in me, which is good, because that's what I need. I need people with faith in me to bring some cool stuff to market. Like I said, once I get that loan, oh, all bets are off. I mean, it's not like I'm going to offer corncob holders like Recoil. Get into that corncob game, but I will definitely be bringing some really cool products to market, and we'll be doing all that under the BlackJack Audio brand. So let me show you these guys. We'll just pull them up. So it's not super tall. I've seen ones that are taller, but it's not pointy either. That's the 4-inch VC. And then here is the Mega Roll. And then, is that it? I thought there were, yeah, I have some 15s too. We got these two. I wanted to sample these. So it's just this one, but it's bigger than normal. Because I think we got the, I don't know if you guys saw that post. It was, where's it at? I'm not seeing them. Yeah, this is it. Let's see if it's the same. Hang on. No, it looks, let's see. No, it's the same. All right, so it's not special. We got that one from Walmart. So somebody was selling, oh, it's laminated though, with epoxy. It's still broke. You can just get these on walmart.com. I'll put the links in the descriptions. We got the 12s and some 10s. I liked the 12s because they were deeper, but they weren't as deep as the GONZO cone. And so I was going to do some, I think I have some triple stack using the Lorda base. Where'd they go? The LVT 225, which is a 2.5-inch coil triple stack. It's basically like a triple stack version of the Sundown SA Classic. And the frames, I'm using the W6 frames, and they're kind of deep, and so we needed something with a 2.5-inch neck, but that was kind of deep, and so these turned out to fill the bill. So I'm going to build a pair of those. But again, I'll put all the links for those. They were pretty affordable. Like, I think it was like $15 a cone for the bigger ones, and then for the smaller ones it was like $8, which is very reasonable for something that is shipped domestically. The only thing you got to worry about is they when they ship them, they only just put some bubble wrap around them, and then that's it. I mean, they are really light. It's just a cone, but you know, you may get one that's crushed or something like that. So just don't put on a sad face. Just complain and get a new one or whatever. So I mean, the production cost on is like 50 cents. It's so ridiculous. This is the tall roll, SPL roll, whatever you want to call it. I haven't really tested it to see if it's stiffer. That's the 15. Oh, and then they gave me the Mega Roll in a 4-inch, which is fine. Just have to make something beefy with it. Beefy. And so what we're going to do on that is the 600-ounce motor, and those would be called the Joker for BlackJack Audio. That's the Joker Series. So this will be Aces. And then the big 600-ounce will be the Joker. And then when we come out with the ZV6, that'll be kind of in between, and so we'll do that one as the King. The Kang. Oh, that's good. We'll call it Kang. K-A-N-G. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we'll do the Kanga Jizz under the Jizz Llama brand or something. I think that was. I'm trying to see if there's any more changes back here. Oh, we got in a stash of the SWS 12s from Recoil. These are the returns. We have tested them. They include an 8-gauge power wire kit, and I think, yeah, an LOC with remote turn on, because that was one of the, I don't want to say mess up, but it was like they didn't include the auto sensing circuit in the high level input on this particular unit in the amplifier section. So it's a ported slim enclosure. There's two of those. We have I think that's the 12-inch on the left, and then two 10s on the right. And then we also still have some of the SWS 10s. Oh, there's an 8-inch version that came in, the SW8P, that I'll be doing a review on. Let's see if there was anything else. I forget a lot of stuff. We still have these to clear out. The SL1789, 2 for $150. Also the SL1779, 2 for $150. On those, I recommend this one just because it's more awesome. It's a little bit bigger. It's not as good as the 10-inch ones, but they haven't imported the 10-inch ones in a while. I forget the part number on that. Mo in Texas likes those. He puts them in the motorcycle bags for those guys. Let's see. Oh, Tommy, the mechanic, is going to do 8 of the PW12s. And then I think we're going to power it with like either an 8K or a 5K at least. So he's doing that, and that's going to go in a Suburban. We're almost finished with the pool hall install. We got a bunch of subwoofers. I think it's going to be good enough. Right now the owner is he's had some poor health, so we got to wait till he gets better so he can go in and hear it. We ended up going with 7 subwoofers, which I to me is fine, right? Because I'm there to play pool or whatever, talk to chicks or whatever people go to pool halls for. It's just there to relax and enjoy that. But I don't know, sometimes people go, I want to feel it, and then you go, oh, well, we've got to do like 15 or 12 10s or whatever, you know, dispersed. It's a pretty big facility. It's probably 5,000, 6,000 square feet. So it's quite a bit of area. There's no, it's like this, it's all open. This has all been painted black. And then what they do is, it's like an industrial minimalist type of architecture that they do. You see it in Chipotle, where they'll use like corrugated tin like that. And then they'll just spray, not the fiberglass, but the newspaper. It's newspaper pulp that's been chipped, and then you add a little bit of adhesive with it, and then it ends up sticking. And then they paint it all black, or sometimes they dye it black. I got to remember watching the video on that. Let me see. Oh, this one is for sale. If anybody wants to do that, I got to find it. This one, see how it's off a little bit? It's over here, this bigger than that. So what, again, I'm going to do the same thing on this one that I just told you about with the other one, is you just find a thinner coil. I'm thinking about the Sundown Team series coil. It's all copper, and it's like 100 millimeter tall. It's like insane. I got it somewhere. I'll show it to you guys. There's that, and then for JL guys, I've been building more motors. I'm going to build a what do I call it? Vato Extreme. So it's going to be called a Super Vato, which is this one here, and it's 4 slugs of 220 millimeter ferrite, and then we're getting the top plates made. I got to get those made. I got to find out. I got to get a good count of how many poles we have left, and then we're going to fill them with the remaining Volcano audio. This is from Crucible. This is 220 millimeter with 4-inch, I think it's 4 1/4 ID, because you always want it a little bit bigger. I have this assembly for a 13W7. We want to make it AE version, which is basically just paint the frame, but it'll have all original parts. It'll work and function and look just like original. And then I also have 3 12W7 motors, and I can do them as AE, which is the black frames. I can also do them silver, and then I have 2 of these which have been turned right here, so we can use the Gonzo cone if you want to do that, and that's a different look too. I also have the frames. We're doing these already turned and modified. That way you can use regular soft parts on them. This is for the 12W7. We're doing these for $200 each shipped. You go, $200? Well, the tooling on them is at least $100 each. And then the frame alone is $100 each. Because remember, I don't really control the price. The market controls the price. And because JL has a monopoly on this device, it goes for $1,400. So $200 for a replacement frame is pretty cheap. And I like using this version because then you can use regular soft parts from me, Lord of Bass, PSI, or whatever. And then you put a regular wraparound gasket on it. So this one, you got to use the JL stuff. So it's got that big lip. And then I got 3 of the 10s. I'm also finishing Curtis's, he's doing 4/8 built on the 10W7 motor. And yet we've been getting a lot of interest on that on the 12-inch that I built on the 10W7 motor. So, and then also we're getting the 130 millimeter glass fiber caps coming in. That's going to finish Curtis's, I think there's 3. Maybe I did 2 and those are the last 2. These are Curtis's as well. This was a triple stack on a W7 frame. This one we also need, I raised the formers on them so we could put, I was waiting for the GONZO 10 with a 2.5-inch coil, or voice coil on that one. So we got those and we can finish those up. Just more exciting stuff. I mean, some people look at my videos like, oh, well, oh, that was what it was. I'm gonna do, oh, we got these, somebody burned these up. I'm gonna do a demo video on those to show you they look on the inside. And then I'm gonna show you how much this Joker sucks, and how shitty it is, and how you basically can't do anything with it. But again, I'll show it to you so that way you can, hopefully it'll save you some time and money. But no, it was about Big D Wiz. So as y'all know, Big D Wiz did the video review on the RED Recoil Audio RED 2500.1, and he didn't, you know, he wasn't as enthusiastic as it was. What somebody that I missed the first time watching the video, that somebody else pointed out, was that in the video, Derek pretends to not know what recoil is, even though I had introduced him to the brand and sent him samples back in like 2014, 2015. And so in the video, he pretends to not know what recoil is, and then he tries to make fun of it with a joke by comparing it to the hippie throat lozenge Ricola, and which is like whatever. Again, that's his poor attempt at humor, and it goes over like a lead balloon. So, but somebody pointed that out, and then also just, I mean, that's just hypocrisy and two-face. And again, I don't want to call him those things, and so I won't. I'll just point these things out that Derek, you know, I can point it out. Like in the Bass Dad video, he talks about that. He talks about that him and I interacted, that, and then he goes back on what he told me, which is that he said that, you know, I don't think my viewers would want to see something like this. And I'm like, again, there's nothing. It was all the amps that I sent him were actually knockoffs of Cerwin Vega. So there's nothing wrong with Cerwin Vega, right? He loves Cerwin Vega Mobile, and these were just knockoffs of the same amplifier coming out of the same factory, same end controls, same all that. They were the same as the Stealth B54, those little tiny class D4 channels, and then also the bass version. And again, he's like, I don't think my viewers would want to see this, and it's like, oh, okay. It's not what he told me. He just said he didn't have time. But I remember the other thing that that I got mad about, and I just started, again, it was just a series of things that he did that were I just found annoying. And then finally, when I did that critique, I was able to articulate what it was that bugged me. And one of the things that bugged me about him was that let's see, how do I say this? He was thankful because I had donated some magazines, some car stereo magazines to the whatever. He's like, I'm missing these. Do you have these? And I said, sure. And I sent them to him. I didn't ask anything for shipping. I just was like glad to contribute and all that kind of stuff. And at the time, Derek was running the old school audio or old school stereo, or whatever it's called, I don't know because I'm blocked from it. But at the time, Derek was letting me post without having to put the little name card, you know, the little thing that says, you know, Patrick Chandler and then the date or whatever. And so, because I'm like, I've been doing this for, you know, at the time especially, I had been doing it for like 10, 15 years, and everybody knew me, and Derek knew me. So he sort of was like, it's cool, it's just Patrick. Everybody knows Patrick, it's fine. Patrick's nice. Patrick contributes to the old school, you know, community and all this stuff. And I was like, thank you. That was nice of you. Well, like after he finally sent back the amps, I don't know if he was butthurt or what, but all of a sudden his tone changed, and he says, well, because one of the moderators on there got a little snippy with me and saying, nobody's above the rules. I'm like, shut up. Like, you're an idiot. And I said, ask Derek. And then Derek gets back to me and says, sorry, man, there's nothing I could do. It's the moderators. That's the way the moderators want to do it. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but that's super political or super unprofessional, or just a dick move, or whatever you want to call it. Incompetence on Derek's part. Like, if you're going to run a Facebook group with, you know, 200,000, whatever it was, 300,000 users on it, you're just going to give hands off and let the moderators do whatever the fuck they want? Okay, gotcha. So now there may be some moderators that just don't like me from the DIYMA days, where that guy offed himself, actually two guys offed themselves and blamed it on me because I didn't put up with their fucking whiny shit. And I guess I wasn't compassionate enough for psycho dudes who want to off themselves on, you know, live or whatever, post things against me. I was like, fuck you, fuck all this, you know, stuff. I don't need to put up with that shit. So, but whatever, there's a whole bunch of little trolly guys that don't like me for whatever reason. And I think a lot of it is just because I exposed their scams. Like over on the West Valley, I've talked about this several times. A lot of those guys, those bass heads, really hate me because I undercut them. But they won't admit it. They won't say, Patrick, you know, they won't respect my knowledge. They won't respect my experience. They won't respect me. And the way that they do that is to call me names, and they gossip like little girls and shit like that. So, and that's, to me, that's all Derek was doing. He was just doing it on like a personal vendetta kind of cunty scale. But again, I just want to point that out to you guys. You guys are the ones that can peer pressure him in, because his YouTube channel and his numbers are the only thing that he has. He doesn't have any super skills. He doesn't have any technical knowledge. He hasn't sold anything. He doesn't sell anything. He totally relies on the YouTube views in order to get some money to monetize what he's doing. And so really, he just wants to do like Mr. Beast and become an alternative version for television of something that's niche. Just picking up some trash. And so anyways, if you guys say something to him, like maybe he should do a video apology to me, that would be pretty rad. Not that I would deal with him, just because he's already made his bed. He can lie in it. I don't really care. I know he's a big phony baloney, and if he does a shitty review like that on the Recoil amp, what else does he do a shitty review on? See? And I tell you guys from the beginning, I'm not a professional. I'm honest, but I'm not a professional, whatever the fuck that means. To me, it just means, like, that's what they tell you to do when you're at a shitty job and you hate it and you work with dickhead people. They say, can you be a professional? And what that really means is putting aside your differences to get the job done. And you don't have to love each other at the end of the day. You just have to get the job done. So, but that's the thing is, I don't work with Derek. I don't depend on views for money. And so for me, just being honest in an industry that is filled with lies and deception, I am the one-eyed man in the land of the blind. I am king. I get to say what I want. I get to do what I want. I get to test product that I want. I get to promote what I want. Nobody tells me what the fuck to do. Nobody puts baby in the fucking corner. So, but there was one other thing I wanted to address, which was Robert Hi-Fi Vega did a review on Recoil's. It's a volume knob / voltmeter, and whatever. It wasn't positive. It was just, he said he liked it. Like, good, because it's a good fucking bass knob. And if you're going to pay $15 for a bass knob, you might as well get a voltmeter in it. So this was stinky yesterday. So I cleaned it out with some what is it, laundry detergent, some Gain. Still a little muddy down there. And then I put some Downy in there and let it soak for like 2 days. And now it smells good. It smells like fresh buttholes. But you know, again, what I'd really want to know is when you know, Robert Hi-Fi Vega on one of the podcasts that they did talked about how he would, you know, we were going to invite Patrick onto the podcast. Not that I would go on a podcast. I think their podcasts are boring. I think they wander all over the place and they never talk about anything cool, and none of them have a sense of humor. So it's not very entertaining. That's just my opinion. And that's one of the reasons why I don't go on these podcasts for guys. They're like, well, you know a lot of stuff. And I'm like, well, then watch my fucking channel and ask me a question. That's how you get things done. Now, if you want to do it for views or for promotion or, you know, create some sort of beef or something like that, that's whatever. I don't really give a shit about that. I just want to go to Texas and make movies. Again, car audio is just a vehicle for me. It's a financial vehicle that I'm doing with BlackJack Audio so that I can get the fuck out of here, so that I can retire in the next 24 months. So then I can go do what I really want to do. So if I burn a bunch of bridges, it's not personal. You're just in the wrong place. You've built your kingdom on lies, so maybe you shouldn't do that. A little bit of trash. I cleaned this whole area up. And there was a bunch of doo-doo and stuff like that, but I'll clean it up here in a second. Me and Sherry will go on a critter cruise. There's no more critters. We kicked them all out. It was fucking great. So we just go out for the weather now. That today was actually the first really good day. Usually it doesn't happen until Columbus Day, but this year it was nice all day, and I'm going to be very productive and get a lot of work done. And we're going to do a solar project. We're going to do all kinds of cool shit. I think that was it. Let me get back to the warehouse. Actually, let me do a full. I like to walk the property to see if there's trash, but also to see if there's some tokens that again, the homeless people tokens are like, sometimes they'll use stones or a shoe or something like that, and they'll just put it on top of a brick wall. And what they're really looking for is to see if anybody moves it. And it also claims their territory, so it tells other homeless people, hey, this is my spot, blah, blah, blah. So the other thing is there were some cats. They used to like to hang out right here in these moist spots from the sprinklers in the afternoon, and they just make a mess. They pee on everything and it just stinks. So then there were some remnants there. They used a little, let me see if I can see with the camera. They put a little milk crate there so they could jump over the fence, and you just got to get rid of all that shit. You basically just got to make it difficult for their lives. Oh, that was one. I don't know if I told you guys about this. There's some homeless lady come up on I guess this was like 2 Saturdays ago. She come up in the driveway, and then everybody was like, Patrick, you got to go talk to this lady. I was like, what? What's going on? So I go to talk to this lady, and she, of course, looks like a street prostitute. And she's like, I do hair. I cut hair. She's like, did you see a baby stroller behind this dumpster? And I was like, nope, but yes, I did. And I threw it in the dumpster. Because again, you're not supposed to make it nice for people. But she's like, that's how I make my money. I'm like, looking like that, that's not how you make your money. But again, I didn't say any of that. I just like, oh well, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she cried and went away. And again, you cannot feel sorry for those people because that's how they survive. They survive on the sympathy of others. And that is a terrible way to survive. You're so... Well, that's why they call it codependent. You're dependent. You think you are. You think you're dependent on these other people for your survival. That's a mistake. Don't do that. And I'm not saying you got to go live out in the middle of nowhere to off the grid because you hate everybody. Like, don't do that. If anything, you just want to work from home so you can call your own shots and go to the grocery store, at 11 a.m. when all the old people are already done and you get to walk around in your fucking flip-flops. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post about that. I was like, adults that wear flip-flops in public, I was like, I'm ready to punch you. It was because there was a story on NPR about this guy. It was something like Dave Matthews Band. It wasn't Dave Matthews Band, but the guy was in the band and he was in New York on 9/11 and, they didn't know what was going on, but he had to run like 3 or 5 miles in Birkenstocks and it just fucked up his feet. And he swore to himself, he's like, never again will I be unprepared. And so whenever I see adults like that aren't going to the beach in flip-flops, sandals, Birkenstocks, out in public, I'm like, you're dead. Don't be dead. Protect your toes, you're not available to do anything. So again, it's just one of those things that I don't know if it was going through the Boy Scouts or because my dad was my dad. That's unreasonable. That's too relaxed. Like, no, be prepared is what the Boy Scouts used to say. So always be prepared. You can't help other people. You can't run in stupid flip-flops. Don't be that guy. Anyways, I think I got this sold to somebody up in Cottonwood. I got to get Tyler in there to get all that gravel out. It'd be good for the property. Looks like there's a steel ring in there too. What did we do? We did this one for $1,200 shipped. So up to Cottonwood. Not bad for, well, Jimmy, I traded Jimmy some audio stuff to use his tow truck to get it over here. And then just recently, Jimmy gave me a fake $100 bill. That was the one I shredded in the, I forget which video it was, but right in the intro, I'm like, some people who learn about me, and I'm like, that's what it's good for. So, because I took it down to the bank, and the bank's like, try to get your money back. I was like, okay. I just used it for a video. If you guys want these frames, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get rid of them. It's not even worth scrap. I'd love to just sell them for real cheap to you guys, but these are the T2s. We have the 15 and the 12. Not really a lot of 10s. This is the newer T2 if you want to get those frames, or what's his name? R.A. Radavini, whatever his name is. Said there was some, or no, that was another guy. I forget his name. He said there's some sort of clamp or something like that ring that he wanted, and I said, yeah, $50, and he got mad. He's like, I feel like you're gouging me. I'm like, oh, really? I'm selling you a part that nobody else sells for $50 and you're complaining? Okay, fuck off. So I'm like, whatever. I don't have time for that shit. We are also going to import, who is it? Oh, yeah, the next version of the GONZO Junior. We're going to include this bolt pattern, which I think is, I think it's 135 or 145 by 8. So we're just going to put some extra holes in that bolt pattern so that you can use that frame, which we're going to do really cheap. Right now we're doing this frame for only, I think $15 each, or 10 for 120 shipped, if you want to buy those. I do recommend the 1-inch spacer, which I think on those we're only doing them for $5 each. You can make your own. In fact, I saw a version of a T.C.O.Z. / Audio Pulse woofer that was sold by Parts Express that they used a piece of cardboard as the spider spacer. I was like, come on, Tilo. And then he used my mounting method to make it detachable, which is, it's already built into the TI frame. You just got to use the windows. You got to put the holes in the windows. And I don't know if Tilo did that on purpose the first time, because his version used the QCA, and then he put screens to block it. And I was like, does it look better? Yeah, it looks way better. But again, it goes in the box and it doesn't really matter. So if you really want to get down to nitty gritty, it's, and again, if you look at the original patent drawing, which I'll put a link to in the description, you can see that the bolt holes are lined up with the windows. So I go, why don't you just put a tool in there? Because he on the Lightning Audio Storm series, he included a little hex Allen key that was shaved to make it real short, so you can get in there. And I immediately saw that as a problem. And so what I did was I changed it out with just regular bolts, hex type bolts, and then we used a rubber washer, and then I used the ratchet wrench that you get from Harbor Freight, and it worked perfect. And it was a lot easier than using the tool that Tilo gave me. I think I saved it as just kind of a, again, Tilo did the best he could. And I wish more people would collaborate with me or hire me on as a consultant. I would love to consult for you and help you solve your audio problems. For those that either are too stubborn or whatever, for some reason you can't be professional and work with me, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. But for the rest of you that can and do, let's go make some money. Let's go change lives. Let's go do some rad shit. So, whatever. If you don't see the vision, that's fine. If this all looks like junk to you, that's fine. To me, it all looks like money. Looks like lots and lots of money just waiting to happen. This one's empty. See, look at that. $40 right there. All copper. So, oh, let me show you that. I don't think I ever showed you. I was going to do a video, then I didn't. I think this was our replacement for the Power HX2. It's actually got a larger diameter. It uses dual 1-inch slugs, 25 millimeter, whatever. 145 millimeter bolt pattern. And then it uses these concept coils. So they're good for, like, I really like these for DJ, PA, 18s and 15s. Copper coil for extra durability. It's got, I think that's 45 millimeter, maybe even close to 50 millimeter of wind height. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Somebody talked about what's the X-Max, and then I don't compare X-Max anymore because there's a bunch of liar companies and liar designers, engineers, whatever you want to call them, that measure X-Max in a way that benefits them. And so it's just a lie either way. So just talk about the wind height. Just talk about the wind height. That's all you need to talk about. How much top plate there is doesn't really matter, especially when you look at like the JL design for the W7. They use a really thin top plate, 13 millimeter, and then they use a really long wind. Is that good? It's good enough for JL, so fucking go for it. But I'm just tired of arguing with dumb people, or what was it? Somebody was bringing up the fact that like Scar makes boxes, and they made the boxes out of like 5/8. It's Chinese MDF. It's not real MDF, but it's Chinese MDF. And then they put a double thick front face on it. And he was like, why did they do that? And I said, you got to understand how retards think. So the guys that are buying this are looking for specific things that they think are valuable. And so all the company does, and this is true of virtually all the brands, they just find some sort of attribute that you think you want, you think is valuable. And they give you that. Like they tell you there's a big X-Max, whatever that means. Sometimes they'll list the X mechanical, which is non-linear excursion. Sometimes they'll list X-Max as one way. If you read the Loudspeaker Cookbook, they tell you how to measure it. But again, some people list peak to peak. Some people, whatever. Again, there's no real. It's like measuring amplifier power or even subwoofer power. You can take this subwoofer and it'll handle 2,500 watts if you put it in a you know, a 2 cubic foot box or even a 1 cubic foot box. It's going to sound like shit though. So what's the point of that? And so nobody wants to follow the rules, the CEA rules, and what's the other standard? IEC. I'll put links to that stuff, to Dan's white papers. Dan Wiggins, the founder of Adair, who went off and created ADI, which was an OEM company for several brands, and then now he's like retired in China because he's tired of dealing with fucking people like Eagle Marino, who are just bossy and dumb. And so now he just works with people that got money. So that's what's funny, is if you got money and you're dumb and you're not bossy, friends. Friends, that's how that works. Oh yeah, we got the coils for the P3s. I'm going to be doing a bunch of those here soon. I'm going to teach Ash how to do them on her own, so that way she can come in for 5 or 6 hours a day and just work directly on those. We're doing them for $200 a pair local, and then I think $250 a pair shipped. And they'll come with a 3-year warranty. We're going to have 2 different versions. We're going to have a poly cone version, which is this cone. Some people like this surround. It's not super big, but and then we do like a dish cap with it, a 200 millimeter poly dish cap, and people really like that. The other version we're going to do with a 5 series cone, which then you can use the modular cap system I have. So then we can offer, you know, all the colors, copper. This is black glass fiber. You can see that. All 180 millimeter. It's the poly caps. Carbon fiber. It's just the top one. That just keeps the dust off the other guys. The carbon fiber. And on something like the P3 that uses a 2.5 inch coil, we can use the concave ones. So those are kind of cool. On the 3-inch coils, it's not deep enough, and so we can't use it. But we can on a 2.5. I think that was it. Other than that, I'm just going to get back to work. I was in a really good groove last night, and Sherry's like, you got to come in and eat. And I was like, eh. And then I hadn't pooped for 2 days. I mean, ugh. It was like digging peanut butter out of a burrito. It was like really difficult. Just wanted to leave you guys with that thought. Oh, and then we got the trifecta. I got this. I picked this up for $50 the other day. Super clean. These old people had it out there in East Mesa. So that's the real deal right there. They gave us a bunch of packs of popcorn, which is really cool. It's got the scooper. And so now we can do slushies, which is, you know, whatever, shaved ice. We can also do popcorn, and then we can also do cotton candy. So we want to do that over at the warehouse in Texas, where it's just a better vibe. A lot of those small towns, people really still dig stuff like that. And then I would love to do like outdoor movies and things like that. And then I get to showcase the home theater speakers and things like that, you know, hey, this is also what I do. So we had some other ideas of turning it into a club on the weekends. I think I talked to Jeremy Dad, gosh, 15 years ago about that idea, which is where you make the equipment and then you are able to demo it within there. So, but we'll see how it goes. The towns are super small, but people will drive like an hour just to go from town to town and go to a cool party. So, and I want to bring that outside influence of Sherry. It was funny, Sherry and I were talking about that last night, which was that one of the reasons why young people suck now, like especially, is mostly just because of the internet. Because when we were kids, like if you could tell the difference between a kid that didn't have cable and did have cable. Like, because they would watch 8 shows on HBO. Like we couldn't afford that. We were like 5 kids on a truck driver salary. Like we were not getting cable. Later in life we did. And then when we started watching HBO, I was like, oh shit, this is really good TV. But yeah, so again, it's like you get exposed. Like if you even have cable and you in the 90s, you got to watch MTV. Like that was a different exposure to music. That was a different exposure to culture, and just different ways of being. Other than that, the only exposure you get, especially in a small town that's, you know, isolated, is who you deal with at school or who you deal with at church. That's it. And then just like everyday thing, like it's so funny because you'll you know, like the hottest chick in your school is not really that hot. But you know, compared to the other uglies in the school, she's the hottest. So same sort of thing with football. You know, when you get into the, you know, 3A, 4A, 5A level schools, you get a much better team because there's more people to sample from. There's more people. There's a larger sample batch of people to pull from. And so the bigger it gets, the better it gets. And then that's why, you know, you see in the NFL, it's only top guys. It's just the best of the best, even if you're going to bench it. But anyways, somebody was mentioning football, and I was like, I love days that are football because it's super quiet around here and I get time to work. Because everybody's off watching some game that doesn't mean anything. I mean, it looks great, but it's like, it doesn't mean anything. At least I feel like, at least if you get a subwoofer, like that's going to change your life. It's going to change your commute. It's going to give you a little bit of, you know, it's not drugs, you know, but it's something that helps you the way that, or makes you feel the way that drugs do. You know, something like that, but it isn't drugs. I don't know. It's just a kind of a cool thing that I like, especially for home theater, watching movies. I'll probably never go to a movie theater again. Even if it's for my premiere. I'm like, this place sucks. I'm gonna go home and watch it. But anyways, I just wanted to check in with you guys. I know this is a little bit of a long video. Got it. This one is now 48 minutes, and then when I stitch it with the other one, it's gonna be an hour. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Again, if you need anything, I don't have a website. I don't have the staff for that kind of thing. And also I hate trying to keep inventory across, you know, multiple platforms. It's super annoying. Oh, and I think we're also going to start selling on TikTok, where I can do like infomercials on product for you guys. I want to try that to see how effective it is. That might be just a better way to go. And the Robot Underground channel has over 1,000 subscribers on that, followers, whatever you want to call them. Go to that TikTok/Robot Underground. And then also make sure you subscribe to the Instagram. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just saying, if you want to keep in touch with the way that I communicate, you know, look on here, look on the posts, look on Instagram, look on Facebook. I just use different platforms. I don't always do everything across all platforms. Like some stuff I'll share to Instagram, some stuff I don't. That's the way I like to do it. I don't know, like you don't go in every room and stick your dick in the mashed potatoes, you know, only in a good room. So you got to know your audience. But anyways, I love you guys. Thanks you for watching. If you like big tits, go to Jugs Global over there on Instagram, and I will post your favorite jizz work star artist. Love you. Bye.